Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this video I will be showing you how to upload the iOS app to the App Store. So say you have submitted or made an awesome app, but you are not kind of sure on what to do after that. So if you are wondering how to submit it to the iOS App Store, this tutorial is for you. So let's get started. Alright, so let's get running. This is a test app that I made a few minutes ago, and obviously this will work for any application that you have already finished. So this just contains a label that says test app, but with this I will show you step by step on how to actually submit your any app to the iOS App Store. So before we do any of that, let's go over to Safari and head over quickly to developer.apple.com. So this is the URL, so simply enter that into a web browser. You're gonna head over to your accounts, and since I'm already signed in, my name is here, and I have this certificates, identifiers, and profiles, and iTunes Connect. Obviously, if you haven't signed in, you obviously had to sign in, and then you will get the same screen that I got right now. So select certificates, identifiers, and profiles once you're signed in, by the way. And here we're gonna go to identifiers and click app IDs. We're going to register a new app ID, so click the plus symbol. And by the way, this is the 2017 version, 2017 tutorial, so Apple may change it in the far future. So I'll probably make an updated tutorial in a few years, depending on what goes. So the app ID name is going to be Upload Test, probably. Actually, no, Upload, and then explicit app ID. The bundle ID here, the bundle identifier, has to match what you called your bundle identifier in your xCode app. So let me bring this up a bit. So head over to xCode and click your app name. What I mean by that is click the very top, so that is where your app name is in. And we're gonna go over here and search for a bundle identifier. So we're gonna Command C this to copy and paste, and head over back to Safari. Let me maximize that out. Alright, and we're gonna paste that in bundle identifier. Make sure explicit app ID is selected before you do any of this. And one important thing is that this has to match whatever you call this, or else if it does not match, your app will not upload, it's not going to work, and you might need to change the bundle identifier and a few settings here, and they can kind of create complications or errors along the way. So we don't want to deal with any of that, so make sure that matches before we do anything else. App services, you don't have to do any of this unless your app uses iCloud or HomeKit, then you would obviously enable that, but depending on what your app depending on what app services your app contains, you don't have to really do that, but if it does, then select one of those. So click continue, and it will give you an option to confirm your app ID. So we're gonna click register, and registration complete. This app ID is now registered to your account, blah blah blah, and click done. So obviously here now we have our App Store tutorial. This is the bundle identifier that we put earlier. So now that that's done, we're gonna head over to our iTunes Connect. So head over to itunesconnect.apple.com. So this is the URL. And make sure, just like earlier, make sure you are logged in, because by default you won't be logged in. So make sure you logged in, and then you should get the screen that I have right now. Again, depending on what update Apple does, things might look a little bit different. So if you're watching this in a few years, you might need to kind of play around a little bit. So I'm gonna select My Apps. Wait for that to load up. And now we can add a new application. So go over here and do plus, add new app. Platform is obviously going to be iOS, because that's the platform we are developing for. App name is going to be, we can call it app test. Primary language will be English. We set to English US. Bundle identifier, now we're gonna look for our bundle ID that we just declared, which is this. Upload Rafael Vicuña App Store Tutorial.xxx. Now we make sure that it matches up, and then the SKU can be upload 1.0. This, it doesn't have, you can also make it 2.0 or whatever you want to, but I'm just gonna make it 1.0 just to make things simpler. And we can click create. Right, so iTunes Connect is saying the app name you have entered is already being used. If you have trademarks, right, so make sure your app name is unique. So let me do app test. Bleh. Okay, I'd be very surprised if that is taken. We could create. Right, yeah, I would be very surprised if this name was taken, but you know. Okay, so pricing now, app information. We don't have to really edit the subtitle. This is for people who run iOS 11 or up, so that will show up in the when they search and find your application. Now your category, we can select it. I'm gonna select mine as books, business, and entertainment. Obviously, you would select depending on what your app is about. So I'm gonna click save. Alright, so now we're going to go to pricing and availability, and we are going to set the price. So let's go here, price schedule, and the price is going to be free. Obviously, if you want your app to cost money, you can select any of this, but I'm just going to set mine as free as well. So let's save that just real quick. So that is saving. Make sure you click save just so you don't lose any changes that you make. And then now here is where things get interesting. So click prepare for submission 1.0. That's the app version. And here we can add in some images. So let's copyright. We can do 2016 Vicuña Corporation. That is the name of my company, by the way. So I'm just gonna add that. App Store icon. We can also add in a file later on. But I'll just show you how to add a screenshot. So we're gonna go over here. Go over here into xCode, and we are going to run a simulator. So we can press Command S to save the images. So we can click. So the 5.5-inch display, that's the iPhone 7 Plus. So we're gonna click play. And I'm gonna screenshot each of these with Command S. So I'm going to pause the video for a minute because this will take a while, so I'll be back once I am finished screenshotting different pictures of the application. Okay, so right now I just finished screenshotting our test app, and I have uploaded it to the 5.5-inch display. So every other screen size, which is the iPhone 4.7 and so on, we'll be using the 5.5-inch display as the picture when they see our application in the App Store. Now lastly, we need to screenshot for our iPad. Oh, and by the way, just to make things clearer, to screenshot a picture, you just press Command S while on the simulator. So let's do one for the iPad right now. Go Safari, the 12.9-inch display, which is the iPad Pro, and we can screenshot that. One image is enough to make one image is enough for all sizes and at the same time. So let's pause because this will take a while to do as well. Okay, so Command S to screenshot that, and as you can see here, our image has been saved. So let's import that into our iTunes Connect. So let's drag that right in. And obviously, you guys would take better screenshots of your application, but this is just a tutorial on how to submit to the App Store. So obviously, if you want your app to look much better, you can obviously edit around, play around with it. So click OK, and the 9.7 display, I have ticked use 12.9-inch display, so it will use this image as well with the other iPad Pro size. So click save because we are done with that. So go back to my apps, and then click on your newly created app so that we can edit some more information. So let's go over here and let's go to our prepare for submission. And we're gonna look over here to make sure our app image has been has worked, and now it has. So we can add in some promotional text, which we can say something like, "Hey, check out this awesome app," or this app will make you a billionaire. Obviously, you guys would make it much better than that, but and then you have character limit of 3,958 words. So I don't have to really edit much here. So keywords is if people put words in the search section, the more likely your app will be in the results. So let's see, word 1, word 2, word 3. Now make sure your keywords are separated with a comma. As you can see in this question mark here, it will say separate keywords with a comma. So this is how you do it. So get word 4 or word 5. The support URL, you can like link it to your Twitter account, or if you have your very own website, you can also link it to that. Or if you have your own like blog page or Facebook page, you can also So I can make a link to my Twitter account, which is twitter.com/xxRafael864. That's my Twitter account. And the marketing URL is obviously, marketing URL is optional, so I don't have to really change any of this. Then again, you can if you want, if you decide to, but it's not really a necessity, or it's not important. And our App Store icon is we have to choose a file that matches this completely. And the version 1.0, you can change it to 1.1, or if you're making an update as well. So you have to make a sign-in account. This is when they review your application, so we can do like test, username, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 as the password. Now version release. After your app has been approved, we can release it for you immediately. This is if once they approve your application, you can choose whether they want to automatically release the app or manually release it. But if you select this, for example, you would have to release it yourself once they approve of it. So I want to make it automatic, so I don't have to deal with that dilemma of mine. Now you can also choose this, so once they accept it, they can approve it, and they can put it in the App Store no later than what date you specify here. So I'm just gonna select automatic, just so that it is much more much faster. I'm gonna click save as well, so I don't lose any data. So wait for that to save up. Okay, so while that's saving, we can make some images for our application. So we're gonna go over here to our asset catalog, and for our app icon, we can make images for each of these boxes. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, I'm not gonna do any of that. So so what I'm gonna do is show you how to do it quickly, and that is a tool named PrepOh. If you want to download PrepOh, just simply load up the Mac App Store, and you can search PrepOh all the way up here. Oop. See if I'm still recording. Alright. So you can search a PrepOh over here and download that. Obviously, since I already have it downloaded, I have the open button over there. Now what this does is, PrepOh is a really cool tool that I used for my previous iOS apps. I just simply put one app in here, and I put one app picture here, and it will automatically generate app sizes. So over here to the main storyboard, let's screenshot for an example. So in our PrepOh, let's import that, and let's see what it does. So as you see over here, it has made for the iPad Pro, and for the Apple Watch, and for different screen sizes as well. So let's export it into a folder. So me and the dad. Let's click create, and let's click choose. So I saved it in my desktop, and now as you see here, each of these has been generated. So let's highlight them all and drag them into our xCode project. So let's highlight that. In our xCode project, all you need to simply do is just drag each of the highlighted stuff into the assets folder. And ta-da, there we go. So we don't have to really worry about this anymore. That's been taken care of. And let's go back to our iTunes Connect, and let's edit some more information. So it has successfully saved. So for our app store icon, we can import in a file, an image. So let's look for a random image. And now, as you can see here, it says your app icon must be 1024 by 1024 pixels. So what we have to do is we have to resize the image exactly as that size. So we have to go back here into our Finder or wherever you saved your image, and let's open up a photo editor. So for this video, I'm going to be using GIMP, and we can resize it back to what Apple needs it to be resized. So 1024 by 1024 pixels. Just simply hover your mouse over the App Store icon to see what it says. So let's go. Let's drag in any of the picture. Let's see the biggest one. So we can drag in that. And we can resize it obviously to 1024 pixels. And let's export that as our image. Image export. Again, this might take us some time depending on how fast your computer is. So let's choose file, and let's select our newly made picture. So let's look for where we saved it. Export pictures, and let's see if I got that image. So you can find that. Okay, so I've successfully located my picture. So I had to pause for a minute because I forgot where I saved it to. So this is obviously the app icon. When they search up your app, they will find this in the results. And obviously, you would make your app picture much better, because if you're submitting a real application, you'd probably want something that would captivate the ones who are searching. So save that, and last thing we need to do is submit a build. So let's fill out some important information first before we do that. Now the phone number is important. I'm not gonna show it to you, but I'm just gonna enter that as my last one, and my email address, you have to enter that in as well. So save that up, and to export a build, we're gonna go back to xCode, and we need to make, in the simulator area, we have to choose generic iOS device, and then we need to go product and click archive. So that'll make an archive, and then we can submit our build to iTunes Connect once it finishes archiving. So simply wait for that to finish. So build succeeded. This version 1.0, we are gonna click validate just to make sure everything is working perfectly. So depending on how long it will take, this might take a bit. So I'll get back to you once it finishes validating. Okay, so obviously my validation was successful. As you can see here, it says your app successfully passed all validation checks. So let's make sure we click done now, and we can actually click upload to App Store. So to submit to the iOS App Store, select a developer team, so make sure your name is selected, and click choose. So obviously you guys might be wondering why I keep on pausing the video, and that's because most of these take a while, and obviously sitting through this will be boring. So this is again also going to take a while depending on your internet speed. So once you click upload and wait for it to finish. So it will say uploading archive, and wait for it to simply reach the end. So I'll be back to you once it finishes uploading. Okay, so that is absolutely perfect, everybody. So upload is successful. We uploaded our build, so click done, and what we're gonna be doing from now is back into your iTunes Connect page, like your app page. We are gonna submit for review and see what is left. So now we need to submit a build. This will change once in a few minutes. It will take a few minutes for the servers to connect. But once it does, we can click the plus, and we will select our build, which is going to be here in a few moments. Okay, so now my build has started to say select a build before you submit your app. This can take around maybe half an hour before it works, so simply be patient. Around, for me, it took like around 30 minutes before my build started to show up. So this is the build that we had submitted earlier. Click done, and once that is finished, click save, and we can now submit for review. So let's click submit for review once it finishes saving. So if you're confused, this build here was when we archived our project. So when we clicked archive, we clicked upload to App Store, and once that happened, it submitted the build to iTunes Connect, and it can take quite a while before it gets processed. So wait for this to save up. It's taking quite a while. So it is finished. Let's review all our information, and let's review our information before we click on submit for review. So here we set our app to be free. So I'm sorry it's taking some. Come on, load. Can refresh that. Alright. So let's click submit for review right now. Okay, there are one or more errors in this page, and that is our contact information, which we forgot to put. So let's put a fake name, I'll put fake last name, phone number, I'll put a fake as well. And email address, I can also put a fake. It doesn't really matter because it's not important at all. So I'm gonna save that, or there were one errors in this page again. Right, so they found out it's a fake number, so I can put another fake number there. Let's save again. And let's see if that works out properly. Submit for review. Right, so there's still an error somewhere, which we might have forgot. Right now I haven't been able to see any error. But if there is no rating, we forgot to put a rating here. So we can put none because our app doesn't contain any of the violent themes. So you can click none for all of this. And unrestricted web access, again, there's nothing of any. So then it will say your selected app ratings is age 4 and over. Obviously, if your app contains violence, you would select any of these different options. Made for kids, you can select that if it's an app for kids. Obviously, so I'm just gonna select done because it's not really that important. And we click save. And let's submit for review right now. So wait for it. It's gonna submit, and now export compliance. Does your app use cryptography? Which no, it doesn't. Does your app contain third-party content? Nope. And if you have advertisements in your app, you would select yes. If you have no advertisements in your application, you would select no, because if you have let's say you have RevMob, iAd, or AdMob, you'd probably need to select yes for that. Now, since all my app contains, let me go back to xCode. All my app simply contains is simply a label that says test app. So we don't have any advertisements displaying, so I selected no for that. And obviously you would now hit submit. I'm not gonna submit it because this is not a real application. It's just I only made this to show you all how to do the steps and how to submit your own app. So once you do that, it will go to waiting for review, and then in a few days, Apple should actually accept it, depending if you did everything correctly. So that is it, guys. That is how you submit an app to the App Store. Hit that like button down below if this video helped you out tremendously. Be sure to subscribe as well. That would be appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll be gaming Roblox as well. And also, forgot to mention, don't forget to check out my apps in the App Store. I have there in the description below. I submitted some apps a few weeks ago as well, and I should probably advertise it in this YouTube channel as well. So anyway, so thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys later on.